Hello, everyone. It is Tuesday, the 24th of September, 2024. And before I get into the big three topics that I shared on my title, I just want to talk about some things that I was looking at yesterday and earlier this morning and verifying it on my Bible search to find out if this was true or not. Because again, there's a lot of people that use religion of varying degrees, and they're used to it's hard to explain. It's monopolizing and manipulating people based on their religious views. People are using these texts even though they don't even believe in them necessarily, and they're using certain Bible verses in order to exploit people's beliefs in their Bible, right? Because a lot of people do take their Bibles literally. For example, I'm not just talking about the Christian Bible. I'm talking about like also people like that follow the Quran and anyway, there's just a bunch of religions out there, as we all know, and a lot of them have their own written texts and scriptures and whatever you want to call it, verses that they abide by. Okay, and so it's just funny that people are correlating Trump with being like the Antichrist. This has been going on for years, but again, people that don't even necessarily believe in angels and demons or any of that stuff, or believe in God, the Creator, that use these texts against the people that are believing them, right? And so I hope I'm explaining that appropriately. Scientology's in there as well. And so anyways, for this is like the King James version of the Bible. People are looking at the 40 I'll back this up. Donald Trump was the 45th president of the United States, and he's possibly going to be the 47th. And something that I've been saying redundantly now for a very long time is that 45 dash 47, it comes out to, if you do 4 plus 5, that's 9. If you do 4 plus 7, that's 11. And so now people are going into the Bible verses. Of course they are, right? Because I guess sometimes people can be very, like, they can be religious extremists as well. And I'm saying this all over the world, there are religious extremists, right? And anyway, it is what it is. But Revelation 9:11, people were looking at that, and this is just kind of like and I verified this on my own Bible search just to make sure that this was correct. But this is just a smaller version of what the actual verse is. But they had an angel as their king, known as Abaddon in Hebrew and destroyer in our language. And allegedly he was shown on the 13th as well. And it's Apollonius in other versions of Abaddon. And so that was interesting. One of the and then Revelation 13-3, one of the beast's heads appeared to have suffered a mortal wound, but the wound was healed, and the whole world marveled at the beast. So again, this is just people that are using biblical verses in order to try to like make a connection or correlate Donald J. Trump with being some kind of the ruler of like the bottomless pit type stuff. It's kind of a little weird. So this is just like a simple search. In Revelations 9:11, Abaddon is described as destroyer, the angel of the abyss, and as the king of a plague of locusts, resembling horses with crowned human faces, women's, etc. Anyway, Apollyon. And they had a king over them, which is the angel of the bottomless pit, whose name in the Hebrew tongue is Abaddon. I could be pronouncing that wrong. If I am, I'm sorry. But in the Greek tongue, it hath his name Apollyon. I thought it was Greek. I just wanted to verify first because it is. It's been a busy morning, and this is stuff I was looking at last night. But anyway, this was just very interesting stuff, how people make connections with biblical prophecies, and they try to make connections that are not there, right? And perception is reality, right? So, I mean, you can convince yourself of these things if you believe hard enough, which is terrifying. I'll get into my Twitter feed. This is Canadian government stuff, but this is also happening in all over the world right now, especially. Bombshell corruption. This is from Michael Barrett. Whistleblower testifies Trudeau government covered up for liberal appointed executives, who paid over $300 million to insiders. Damning indictment of 9 years of Trudeau. $300 million.
Frankly, I'm embarrassed to be here because me being here is an indication that the systems that are set out to protect people don't work. That's the biggest issue here, and I'll continue on my speech, but I want to make it clear that I'm here not just for SDTC, but point out that this should not have taken a 2-year effort to get to this point. And even to this day, real accountability doesn't exist. The Auditor General's findings
Oh no. Oh my goodness. Okay.
effort to get to this point. And even to this day, real accountability doesn't exist. The Auditor General's findings conclusively validated and vindicated
No, that's too bad. Anyway, you've got the summary here. Covered up for liberal. That's just what's being found out. It's most definitely more because even with the for Palestine and Iran and all these other areas, the people taking job, international security advisors. Sorry for swearing, and who got it wrong, and were taking millions of dollars, and they were the same thing as me in a cabin in the woods, like working remotely. But not doing any work. They did no work. There was like no emails submitted or any proof, any reports, any estimates done. Nothing was done. Nothing was done. And they got millions of dollars, right? Where that money could have went to me, because again, I was in that network, and I wouldn't have lied to Canadians for several years before this had to be investigated. And actually, I'm going to share the screen again, because just below that, it talks about the Freedom Convoy from Lion Advocacy. And if you're not following him from Canada, you really should be. He shares a lot of good information. So any lawyer with a modicum of common sense knew that Trudeau justified and a total embarrassment for the rule of line he has before. The Crown now using taxpayer money to fund an appeal rather than an apology, even worse. So yes, Chrystia Freeland and Justin Trudeau are appealing that the unlawful incitement of the Emergency Act, and using our money to do it. It's unbelievable. And I do want to say that there were a lot of people within law enforcement of multiple different agencies and organizations and levels that absolutely supported the Freedom Convoy, and they got suspended for it. They got charged for it. Or they were moved to different departments where they wouldn't be able to be out in public, essentially, and there were people from the inside that were assisting people and making it and also enabling this to be as peaceful as possible. And they also knew that there were crisis actors and role players and government plants, even their own, that were there to elicit emotional responses in people and do things like incite riots, and they were doing everything they could to stop that, right? And so I've said that before, but I just wanted to reiterate that, and so I think now with especially this year with that order or whatever you want to call it coming out, that more people, even like now, I'm seeing more lawyers speak out and up on everything COVID related and everything that was buried and censored and the overreach and all that stuff that went on, and people, by the way, are still in the courts, like I keep on saying, Helen Bruce included and many others, and over COVID. She was suspended and charged that first weekend of the Freedom Convoy, and because she was someone that knew the reality of what was going on. Again, we were in the same network for years, so I've worked with her higher level stuff since 2016, 2017 time period, and so she was tracking what was going on, and so that was not the popular opinion at the time, and so it is what it is. Her court case, if anyone is interested, it's ongoing, and so the next date or dates rather are January 7th to 11th of 2025. Completely Section 7 of the Charter of Rights and Freedoms. Okay. On to my top 3. This was a great video. Redacted, they are amazing. They're such a good team. And I want to share this video because I'll wait for it to load. Why is today being a day? Oh, there we go.
Targets if NATO and the United States do not step off, which they are not showing that they are inclined to do. Now, Hillary Clinton wants criminal charges. But I'm going to get to Hillary with Biden and Harris and Trump, begging them to let him use long-range weapons to attack Russia. Here he is over the weekend in Scranton, Pennsylvania, visiting a plant that manufactures 155 millimeter artillery shells.
Signing it with a freaking Sharpie.
Yes. Now, on X, he says that this very plant will be to pun on the right would expand capacity and production at these plants, which creates American jobs. Now, that's based on killing people. Is that what we're agreeing to here? Second, the money we give has to be created out of debt that so far has tanked our economy and makes American jobs is fairly short-sighted given that it's tanking our economy. Don't you think? Anybody?
Yeah. Yes.
Bueller?
They don't see it for what it is.
Professor Symbol looks on like he just sold a gym membership.
He's so proud.
Yeah. Now, this is a good reminder that Democrats are the party of war. Republicans are too. We should not let them off the hook. We don't see a lot of Republicans. Now, we'll see more of this week because Zelensky is in the U.S. to present his victory plan. This is just a rebranding of his peace summit that he tried to get President Biden to attend in August, and Biden ghosted that of his beggar camp. Unwinnable war. If you watch Zelensky, he's more like a social media influencer, only instead of getting brand endorsements for skin care, he gets millions of dollars in weapons. The minute he steps off the plane, and replete with music before our very eyes.
U.S. Air Force flew him anywhere.
All right, so this piece goes on for 3 whole minutes in the only an idiot who, when we see things like this. Now, next, Zelensky, UN, and again, he will meet with Vice President Harris and President Trump to make his sleazy pitch for death and pose for photos. Now, I wish both candidates would turn off the lights the way you signal that you're out of Halloween candy so that he would just go away. But Kamala
Oh, okay. Was that? I just forgot to add myself to stage. Sorry about that. Oh my goodness. Okay, I'm gonna see if I can still play it. I'm so sorry for that. But people do know that I don't want to go with Starlink, which is the only other option in the area that I'm at the US, because of what Elon Musk is posting more and more, that he might be censored in the US at some point. I know that Gavin Newsom and others are calling for that. And so Canada, we're already much more censored than the US. So if they're talking about it, then like this is obviously something that's on the table as well here. And so if that happens, then I wouldn't have any internet. I'm off as soon as I transfer over, and I don't want to do that.
The reason that Donald Trump says that this war would be over within 24 hours is because he would just give it up. And that's not who we are as Americans. Let's understand what happened a few days before Russia aerial boundaries, which is the importance of sovereignty and American intelligence.
Oh my God!
He could shared with him American intelligence about
he's not part of NATO or the Five Eyes community. So what you just did is fucking treason, lady.
how he could defend himself. Days later, I went to NATO's eastern flank, to Poland and Romania. And through the work that I and others did, we brought 50 countries together to support Ukraine in its righteous defense. And because of our support, because the javelins, the Abrams tanks that we have provided, Ukraine stands as an independent and free country. If Donald Trump were president, Putin would be sitting in Kyiv right now.
Wow.
Okay. Justin Zero in our chat says this channel is Russian propaganda. I would like to abide is lies. She is lying.
Okay, I don't think they want me to share this video. I might be getting jammed here. I'm mostly kidding. Mostly. But I'm not even sharing at this point, I don't think. It's not showing that it's sharing, and so remove. There we go. Well, that was very interesting what Kamala just admitted to. We'll get there. I do want you to get into, I was just hearing bits and pieces of it, are owned by people that were